Hey guys, Anthony here. Sorry about coming on a few minutes late. Little technical difficulties with getting this. I've never scheduled a live video, and then to get it going, I was a little confused on how to do it. So sorry about that. I see a couple people in the room already. John, how you doing? Northwoods Prepper, how you doing? Hope everyone's weekend is going good. We did a test live, actually 2 test live videos today earlier, and we talked about a few different things. Calamity Rain, hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us. And so I decided to do a scheduled event, which is tonight, and see how that goes, and then get as my content, as I develop more content for the live videos. Tonight, I just left it open. I know there's a lot going on tonight in politics. I see that Bernie Sanders won the Arizona caucus, I guess it is. Actually, he did pretty well. I think Biden came in a distant second, but so Bernie Sanders, I guess an admitted socialist communist, has won a major primary. So looking forward to seeing where that goes. Watching some of the commentary on Fox prior to starting this video, and good to see you, Agos, EDC, how you doing? Frank Sr., hello, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well for you. I have a special guest. She was on earlier. My wife, Barbie. Hello, you can come on the camera now. Everyone, this is Barbie. She was on earlier, and she's coming on tonight just to help me out. And she may be, as I get going on this, she may be the moderator of my channel to help me out. So hopefully, I love her hair. Wow. She does have nice hair.
I hope it stays intact. Radiation, I hope it's kind to it.
Right. Barbie's going to be getting some radiation treatment. Actually, about 6 weeks radiation coming up, probably starting in early to mid-March. So guys, keep her in your prayers. She's be getting radiation on a brain tumor that's inoperable. So it's non-cancerous, which is the good news. The bad news is it's in a bad part of her brain that's close to her carotid artery, her eye nerve. And so we want to hopefully kill that tumor with the radiation. So that's what we're praying for. So let's see what we got here.
Wisconsin Archer.
Hello, Wisconsin Archer. How you doing, brother?
Northwoods Prepper.
Yeah.
Very fair. Never we're happy you're back. Oh, my sister Beatrice. Oh, thank you. I know I will too.
ATF is illegally taking copies of 4473s to compile a registry. 4473s are what you fill out when you buy a gun, and the gun store or the person that sells you the gun is required to have filled out and to file, and to hold on file. So what he's saying there is they're creating a registry or a database. I wouldn't be surprised if that's been going on. It shouldn't be going on, but I wouldn't be surprised it's going on. And we could have a whole episode on guns and gun confiscation. It's actually the loss of our freedoms is what they want by taking our guns away. So that's a very serious thing that's going on in the country, especially in Virginia. If you guys have seen what's happened there the last couple of months with the new leadership in Virginia that's entrenched up there. They're trying to pass all kinds of gun restrictions in that state. There was just a big protests several weeks ago where thousands of gun owners showed up and protested. But yet the Governor Northam and his cohorts are still moving forward with trying to push legislation to take our freedoms away. And that could be a test case for the entire country on what's to come if that is successful. So keep your eyes on that. There's also a big fight tonight. Deontay Wilder and the Gypsy King are going to fight tonight. Second time they were facing each other. I saw the first fight and it was amazing. And so what's that?
Wow, what crap made mine?
She's not my daughter. Actually, she's older than me. So if I tell you my age, you'll guess it. She's a year older than me.
Right, thank you so much. I try to be brave. I do. I really try to be brave because it takes a lot of courage, but I wink a lot. But thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
I enjoy making my own guns. That's
wow.
art. That's a great art.
I wish I had that talent.
They talk about Dayton, Ohio. Okay, the drum guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Barbie's from Pittsburgh originally.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where I met her. I went to college at Clarion University of Pennsylvania, which is about 90 miles northeast of Pittsburgh, I think. I met Barbie there in 1981. And we've been together basically ever since.
Yeah.
Married in 87, so together since about 81. So do the math there. I think May 9th is coming up on our 33rd year?
33rd.
33rd. 33rd wedding anniversary.
You were 18.
May 9th.
You were 18.
I was 18. You were 19. I married an older woman.
I'm still waiting for the stipend in the mail.
For putting up with me for that long. Wow. That is amazing. How somebody could put up with me that long. My mother didn't even put up with me that long.
Not true. That's our story.
Yeah, that's our story, guys. Married a long time, and just make sure I didn't miss any things here. Yeah, John Hoosh, in my planning, I always figured we wouldn't have a grid. I've been filling the freezer. Well, the freezer is good as long as we have electricity. Be good to we do some dehydrating and then vacuum sealing things. That's really good to get into. And they stay a very long time when you do that. So you could put up a lot of food pretty inexpensively if you get a dehydrator. And we've done that. And actually, when you're done with your treatment, we're going to pick back up on that for ourselves and for the pets, for the doggies, Teddy and Charlotte. Barbie is much prettier than you are, Anthony. Oh, yeah. Calamity Rain.
Oh, dear.
I got a big square head and a forehead you could land a jet plane on.
Hey, Frank, how are you?
So yeah, tonight I left it open to see what kind of comments were coming in. And one of the things I wanted to, I talked about already was Bernie Sanders winning the primary there. And then I wanted to read this quote from Alexander Shulitsyn. He says, "We forget everything. What we remember is not what actually happened, not history, but merely that hackneyed dotted line that they have chosen to drive into our memories by incessant hammering." It's Alexander Shulitsyn. And also in the news tonight, which I just found out, DHS whistleblower against the Obama administration, Philip Haney, found dead, shot and killed tonight. And he was a man that spoke out against the Obama administration wanting to scrub all all allegations or writings on terrorists in the United States that were entrenched here. Obama administration wanted to scrub those out, and I guess Filippini spoke out against it. This was going back a few years ago, and found dead tonight, shot dead. So think about that, guys. What's going on in this country? We're at a very, very volatile point in this country where we have, and I talked about it in the previous live that we did earlier, that we have an actual socialist that's really can actually get the nomination if they don't take it away from him this time. So these people that that follow Bernie Sanders, at least from what they've said, and actually his supporters, one of his supporters, if you remember, shot Steve Scalise about I guess it's 2 years ago almost, at the baseball game there in Washington D.C. So these people have also threatened to burn down cities if Bernie wasn't given a shot at the nomination. So we have much to be thinking about, much to be prepping about, and much to be praying about in the weeks and months leading up to the November elections. And keep in mind, the Republican convention is in the town in which we live very close to, downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. So who knows what can go on around here in my neck of the woods come this summer when that convention, I think it's held in August, if I'm correct. So yeah, the fairy lover, the store shelves in China. We saw some videos today
Yes,
about that,
Mhm.
how empty the store shelves
They are.
were.
Mhm.
So that was pretty eye-opening.
Very limited.
Mhm. I was also looking at the, was it the 14 people that were flown from the cruise ship in Japan
Right,
back to the
14.
United States
Yes.
on planes that they didn't tell the passengers that possibly infected people with the coronavirus were going to be on their plane, and they flew them back here to the States. So, right, they were tested positive. So just think about that virus is airborne, and you're in a tube in a plane. People are breathing. The air is circulating. The virus lives, on inanimate objects for days, hours or days, and on items like carpets and fabrics. It can last even longer. So just think about the possibilities of how many people can be infected by that. Just mind blowing how that could be allowed to happen. On mass, don't be afraid. Just Rick, 40 millimeter mass. We have
Usually does.
what's that? Blame it on Hillary.
Usually
Yeah.
does.
I won't place blame on Hillary, but this was an Obama, the Obama administration. I'd take it right to the top and blame Obama on this one.
3551 more level up is martial law.
Yeah, so where is that one? We are under Northcom 3551. One more level up is martial law. That's a possibility here in America that I've always said. If you watch my videos over the years, I said I think my belief is one day we'll go to bed at night, things will be like a normal day, and the next night or next day things can change that quickly, and people will have their hands on their hips saying, how did this happen? How did we get here? And it's all these things that build up to instituting something like that. It's very, very scary. I'm more fearful of my kids growing up in this, and my grandson growing up in this type of environment. Really, really. Thank you, Lauren. All right. Frank Senior, keep prepping. All right.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Keep prepping. Like I talked about earlier, you don't have to spend tons of money prepping. We do it. Occasionally I'll go out. Last week we did that dollar store haul. I still have the receipt here. I think we spent like $50 in the dollar store and got all this stuff. I had it in, a lot of it's in my van. I mean, food items, medical Band-Aids, beans, little totes,
A lot of aspirin.
yeah, basic stuff.
My lotion.
What else?
And nothing was expired. That was
right.
what my concern was. Nothing really.
Yeah, we checked dates
we checked dates and packaging.
Everything was packaged good. The food was good, well packaged. Idahoan, the Idahoan powdered potatoes that are. All you need to do is mix some hot water with those, and you've got a great side dish. So, for $50, this would have been double that in like the regular grocery store. Clean supplies, we got bleach, spray cleaner, disinfectant, wipes. And I did a video a few days ago on some of that I had packed in my van to show what that was. Yep, I'm sure there's a lot of preppers that watch my channel, law enforcement, etc. And there's people that are maybe new to prepping or don't know how to get started. And basically it's just think about what you eat and drink every day and just store more of it. Think about where you live, how to harden your shelter, make it more safer, things like perimeter alarms, little inexpensive things that I have. I could be in my garage sitting down. Somebody comes to the front door. They trip a little perimeter alarm. I hear it and see it on a little panel. Tells me number 1, 2, 3. I know where that monitor is, and I know what direction that person is coming from. So little things like that, to keep yourself safe. We have also a hardened, regular alarm system in the house. Pets. I think dogs are probably the number one deterrent or first alert. My dogs will wake me up. Teddy roams the house at night and sits in the front couch by the front door and front window. So the first sign of somebody coming near the door, Teddy's going to be all over it, wake me up, and I'm going to, get into gear and take care of whatever has to be taken care of.
Driveway monitor.
Yep, driveway monitor, exactly. We've got some wireless cameras. We've got a little of everything. Hardwired cameras, wireless cameras.
Hey, I'm baking bread and doing some pickling.
Idaho checking in. Hi, Dan M.
Baking and cooking.
Who's baking that?
Chef.
Oh, nice.
Hey, we have someone from
now I'm getting hungry.
Idaho.
Yep.
How you doing, Dan?
Frank Senior, go Teddy.
Idaho checking in. Baking bread.
You just baked some bread recently too.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
That's a whole video within itself. I'm always baking.
Yeah, hey, listen, Giada's got nothing on this one. She could cook Italian food, actually all kinds of food, but Giada's got nothing on it. She could have her own show, this one. I'm telling you, she can. Well, Italian food, forget about it.
I'm a vegetarian though.
Oh, I know. She's a vegetarian, but she'll make me whatever I want. So I eat a lot less meat now that I'm older. I just can't digest it anymore. Right. So I eat a lot less, but I do still eat mostly chicken. Mm-hmm. Tonight I did have some good burgers.
Right. So
once in a while I'll have burgers. But it's mostly chicken that I eat. But yeah.
Onion bread, it's fantastic.
That sounds good.
I bet it is.
Yeah, never had that before.
Right. We'll have to do a video on just on.
We'll have to do a video on
in the kitchen
with
Barbie.
With Barbie. That could be a whole channel.
So that interests our whole group of preppers here.
Yeah. So I was talking about earlier about I think I mentioned something about government making unjust laws or laws that go against, what our moral foundations are as a country, against the Constitution, against the Bill of Rights. If you want to know, if you want a good book and want to know where to start, well, how does a people resist a tyrannical government or laws that are being put in place that can possibly enslave us down the road. You want to get this book here. It's called The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates by Pastor Matthew Trewhella. It's the proper resistance to tyranny and a repudiation of unlimited obedience to civil government. And basically what he says in this book is that when the higher magistrate, or say the king in times past, or the Caesar, the controller of the Roman Caesar, issued a decree that was against moral law, biblical law, the lesser magistrates in the civil government would get together and resist the higher magistrate. And so this is the proper way to go about it. And it gives some excellent examples throughout history from biblical times. It's actually a biblical, it's a biblical thing to follow, but it was made famous actually during the times of the Protestant Reformation. And so it gives examples in here of it. And it's just a great read. I'm almost finished with it. And then also in speaking about this, a lot of times we saw that with the Obama administration and other administrations past that, where the president will sign a decree or something and it gets passed into law, and the lesser magistrates go along with it because they say it's the law of the land. We have to go along with it. Or I was just following orders, like the Nazis when they were given orders to kill or exterminate people. I was just following the law. I was just following orders. Well, if the laws are against God's law, then they're not to be followed. And this is a proper way to resist that. And so it's a very good book to get, The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates, to know how to stand against a possibly tyrannical government. And governments do become tyrannical when they're given too much power. And if we're seeing our Second Amendment rights trying to be erased slowly but surely, we know that if we look back in history and we studied history, that anytime that has happened, it's ended up in the country, the government performing genocide on its people. Look back in history and you'll see it every time. It's leading up to gun till they're confiscated, and then the genocide starts. So it's a very serious thing what's happening in this country. What else we got? Exactly, Mr. Glass. The Constitution is for a moral people. If the people are immoral, then it's over. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what my next Bible devotional study entitled Love American Style is going to speak about. And I spoke about what Mr. Glass just said several videos ago. If you go back on my channel and watch, it's the one called Get Out. I put all three videos together. It's one video now. It's about an hour long. It's called Get Out. Has America asked Jesus to leave their country? And that whole video kind of sets the tone for where I want to be this year in all my videos, what I want to focus on. So if you watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, yep, shall not be infringed, exactly. But you have to understand that the people that want to take away our rights, they know that many millions of people are armed, and they know that there's millions of handguns and trillions of rounds of ammunition. So they're always a step ahead. So who knows what they're planning? A viral outbreak, a pandemic, coupled with an economic collapse, martial law, getting people and putting them forcibly into quarantine, and then going and raiding what those people owned. These are all scenarios that could unfold here in this country. You've seen China just walking away people under armed guards, taking them away during this coronavirus outbreak. Who knows if all those people are affected or infected by the virus? Jay Sicka, hello, I have a Bible question. Sure, send it through. We'll see if I can't answer it tonight. I'll get an answer for it.
Or I'll answer it.
Well, you're an answer. Or if we can't answer it. Immoral people would hang the politicians and bankers. Well, that's what America needs to get back to. Our founding, our roots, our morals need to come back. What we really need is a revival. We need people to repent and turn from the way we're going as a nation, and we need to go back to our roots. We need to get back to putting God into everything and listening to his voice. I think it's because of the government. Yep. Well, like we said, yeah, the government gets too much power, and then also leaders that get elected that don't adhere to the Christian foundation, the Judeo-Christian foundation of the country, and have their own thoughts or their own beliefs. The country starts pulling apart, because what holds us together, what holds Western civilization together, it's that common thread of Christianity. It's that common thread of loving one another and loving your neighbor. I've tried for weeks to find out what belt you wore in your EDC video. I think it was an Aegis. Yeah.
That was a great belt.
I have two Aegis belts. Aegis makes belts, AE, how do you spell it? They have their own, AEGIS. You could look them up online. And I just forget the model number. I could get that for you. And then when they have specials, they'll send me emails too. But they make some very high quality gun belts, and they're adjustable, and they're just, it's amazing when you wear one of those belts versus, you know, a regular standard belt. You just feel the difference. Nothing moves around, nothing shifts. I don't have it on tonight, but I just have a regular 511 belt on with my holster. But the Aegis belts are fantastic. But yes, that's what it was.
That's kind of, thank goodness.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks.
Hello, people at 45.
Oh.
Bless you as well.
Yeah. Jay Sicka submitted a question. I'm trying to break away from a cult. Will I go to hell if I leave? You're trying to break away from a cult. Will you go to hell if you leave? What is the cult that you're in? What are they espousing? What are their beliefs? Are they forcing you to do something? Are they forcing a belief on you?
What's leading you to actually come to terms that you need to leave?
Right.
Leave a cult. Shouldn't be any cult. There's no goodness will come from any type of cult.
If there's that still small voice whispering inside your head, it may be the Holy Spirit telling you to leave that cult, and it may be God reaching out to you to pull you out of it. So be sensitive to that as well. Be very sensitive to that. And listen, if you turn to Yahweh, he will not turn his back on you. If you seek him with all your heart, soul, and mind, he will not turn his back on you. So Baptist, well, there's lots of different types of Baptists. I don't know what their belief is, their specific belief.
Yeah.
Is it Southern Baptist? I don't know. Most Southern Baptists that I know are, Bible believing, born again people. But there are other, they might be calling themselves Baptists and espousing something else that's not biblical.
That's kind of difficult question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
On the spot, because a cult can mean many things.
Jay, you could
reach out through DM.
Yeah, direct message me with some
specifics.
Exactly. Yeah, and I could help you out and even maybe talk live with you and help you that way.
Hey, Christian, thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hi, thank you. Pray to our Heavenly Father through Jesus Christ. Ask for discernment and faith, and you will receive your answer. Amen. Follow the Lord Jesus and not man. Amen. You know, immerse yourself in God's word, even if you're not. I try to spend the first hour of my day reading, studying, praying, and it's made a big difference in my life and my walk. So that's something that you might want to try. Yeah.
So let's see what's going on here. What else?
Anything good?
Videos.
Yep. I posted a few videos today. I was talking about, I went on a work trip on Friday. We had some really bad weather Thursday night. It snowed. The temperatures dropped to below freezing. Friday morning, I thought the trip was going to be, the scheduled work training was going to be canceled. I got a text an email at 6:30 in the morning saying the training was on. It was out in Greenville, South Carolina, which is about 2 hours from Charlotte here. And so I had to drive out there. I have a work vehicle, and I packed some extra items in that vehicle. As I stated earlier, that whenever I leave home, at least up to a half hour away or more, I take extra supplies with me in case something happens and I can't get back home and I'm held up or whatever. I need to come back home, and I have extra items with me. So I threw in some extra cold weather gear, a really heavy parka that we bought,
Yes.
some extra hats, gloves. My bug out, my get home bag was in the vehicle, so that has a lot of items in it already. And then I threw in some extra items, and I wanted to show just a quick. No, I threw in some extra water, this gallon of water here. So that was in there. There's also some water in my get home bag. And then this little Fiskars, my daughter used to use this bag to scrapbook, right? Actually, we have another one. So it's just like a little shoulder bag. She used to keep all her scrapbook stuff in here. I kind of hijacked it from her, and I made like a little food bag out of it, and just tilted here so you guys could see. I'm not going to take everything out, but in it is MREs. There's ramen noodles. There's packets with coffee in it and creamer. My cup, matches. I have an alcohol stove and a windscreen here. I have extra alcohol here to bring the water to a boil. I have things like beef sausages, and so there's enough. There's about 6 full MRE meals in here as well, and so that kit is just modular. I could grab it, take it, and put it in another vehicle. If I was going out with my wife somewhere, I could take that kit and put it in another vehicle, and it's modular. Just take the water with me, and we're ready to go. We have food on the run and the ability to make fire and cook.
John said there's a rumor there's a lot of quarantine in Georgia.
We heard something like that earlier in our other video that we did.
There's a lot of rumors, a lot of facts. It's hard to differentiate right now what's going on.
Right.
But regardless,
So the people that are quarantined in Georgia, were they from? Did they just travel here recently? Were they infected somehow from traveling, or from these people that came back from Japan? I'm not sure where that how that happened. It's interesting.
Hey, thanks for reminding everybody. Go ahead and hit that like button. And
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I promise to do more live videos. I like doing live videos. They're a lot of fun.
Considering it was so random today,
Well,
why don't you do a live video?
Well, I talked about it in my last video.
Oh,
The one I did, I forget what it was called, but I asked in that video if you guys would like to see some live videos, and I got a good response.
Did
Yeah.
you get good response?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Frank
great.
Senior, nice kid, brother. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's simple. I mean, some ramen noodles, there's some canned Chef Boyardee little things you could just peel and eat. You don't even have to heat them up. The MREs, you don't have to cook. You just open them and eat them. You can eat them cold. It's fuel to keep you alive. It's water to keep you hydrated. My vehicle would be my shelter. If I had to leave my vehicle and abandon it and walk home, I had an extra pair of boots in there, the winter jacket, my get home bag, and I could hoof it on foot if I had to.
And
So-
anytime you throw thanks for joining us.
Hey,
Nice to
Tony.
see you.
Tony, is that the Tony from Florida? I think it is. Yeah.
Tony from Florida.
Yep. You know Tony.
Hey,
Yeah,
that might be a zip code.
yeah, you know Tony's from Florida. He worked at Nova.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
Tonys at Nova.
Yeah, you know. I'll talk about it. He
Well,
knows you good.
Tony, hey.
We spent 17 years in South Florida, so we know a lot of people.
Hey, Barbie.
Yep.
Hi,
Yep.
Tony.
My aunt calls and says, prep for the worst. Yep, I would take your aunt's advice. I would definitely take your aunt's advice.
Yeah, today is going to be experimental, you know. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a lot more things planned, very specific subject areas and content.
Yeah.
But you have a very diverse.
Thank you, Big Wolf.
Hey,
Appreciate
Big
it.
Wolf, thanks a
Yeah.
lot. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Bless you. Yeah.
We-
Word, once the sheep figure out the sickness is bad, they will forget. They sure will, John.
Yeah,
They sure
that's a
will.
possibility.
Mhm.
That's a real big possibility. If you watch my video that I posted earlier today called Bad Man, it talks about Selko Begovic, who survived the Balkan Wars, and he described an individual that he knew before, everything collapsed, and the guy was a pretty normal guy to him. But when everything collapsed, this guy he calls him the bad man in the story, became a rapist, a murderer, a killer, a leader of a gang, and did very bad things to people. And so these people are lurking out there, and given the opportunity, if things do go bad, these are some of the people that you and I would have to maybe come up against. And it's not a pretty picture. So one has to be prepared mentally for that, spiritually for that, and physically for that. Physically fit, ready with preps up to and including self-defense preps like watchdogs, knives, firearms. Those all come into play, and knowing how to use them and to be able to use them. So that's a lot of the things you have to start thinking about. And I don't advocate violence,
That's right.
but you have to be crazy not to be prepared with at least a firearm and know how to use it in the society in which we live today. This is aside from people that we already know that are in gangs and in organized crime, and we already know those people are bad. But normal everyday people that will turn bad, and given the opportunity to do so, will do it. That's just Charlotte. She hears another dog walking by. So you see what I mean about how a dog can sense things that we can't hear? Little Charlotte picked up on it right by the front door. Give me her.
Hi, Shasha.
So say hi to everybody, Charlotte. Charlotte is 4 years old. She's going to be 5 in April.
I think she brought it herself.
Teddy was on earlier. Charlotte's my little mama. She's a good little watchdog. And this dog can hear and see. Like, I can't believe some of the stuff that she sees outside and the things that she hears. I mean, we won't hear anything. She'll be barking. And then all of a sudden, a couple of seconds later, somebody comes walking by.
See, Charlotte, people came on since you.
Yeah.
Hey, from Central Florida. And then.
Hey, WD duct tape. WD-40 duct tape. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I made.
Well, he said he loves all your videos. He must be with you a while.
I bought a Glock 20 10 millimeter, probably about a year, not even a year ago. I did one video on it. And that gun is a beast. Actually, I've shot with it. It's not. It's very controllable. It shoots very well. Just an amazing handgun. And with the right ammo, I bought some Underwood ammo for it, and they make Underwood makes bear rounds. Like if you're out in the woods, they make a special round for that. But they also make a lot of self-defense rounds, and I have some of those with that gun. So maybe one of the live videos I'll do, we'll go over that and take a look at that.
Animals are better.
John,
That's
animals,
what
yes,
we
they
believe,
are.
John. We believe that.
You are better than people, little girl. Better than a lot of people. Let's put it that way.
I have
And
7 blocks, but always carry a 19. Okay.
Yep, that's one of the ones I have
Yeah.
and carry too. Most of my carry in the winter is the 17, which I carry in the pants right here. So usually a Glock 17. In the summer, it might be the 26 or the 19, but one of those three. And we have Barbie carries the Glock 43 in 9 millimeter. It's a little thinner.
Ronaldo has the 20 home defense.
Nice, nice home defense weapon.
40 SCW cycle and the 10 millimeter.
I think I've seen some videos on that. I'm not sure 100%. Maybe somebody can answer that.
9 millimeter is my carry.
Good Mike, 30 Van Life, PT 111, 9 millimeter.
Van Life. We got another Van Life.
Yep, he's been around for. How's your mom? I haven't talked to you in a while.
His mom.
She was, yeah. MMRTINC, yes, thank you for following for years.
Yeah.
I've been on YouTube since 2009, guys. Been on for a long time. Probably have like 1,400 videos now. H&K VP9, nice weapon. Nice. Haven't seen those yet, but I know the VP9. That's a very nice weapon, and H&K is a good choice. I like my guns with external safety. Yep, that's a preference for a lot of people. I haven't talked to you in that long. Wow, I didn't know that.
We're sorry.
Wow, I'm very sorry to hear that. Jeez. I'm sorry I haven't kept up with you, my friend. Very sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Anymore. That's right. Yeah, for sure. But still, I learned a lot from their Block 20 video. It's so refreshing seeing a real person talking about something more creative.
Yeah, I'm not a big. Actually, I don't do a lot of firearm reviews, or I don't show a lot of firearms. I just never felt the need to do it. But I've done a few things. Yeah. Well, there's so many other good channels that like do in-depth gun reviews. Hey, HCP, that's a local, North Carolina. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining tonight. I appreciate it. Oh, Charlotte hears something again. If the virus makes it to New York City, all hell will break loose. Yeah, New York City is a whole nother ball game. Actually, if you guys didn't know, I'm born and raised in New York. I was born in the Bronx, and I lived in New York most of my life up to 1994. I worked in Manhattan for several years, so I commuted from Westchester County on the train, Metro North, that takes you into Grand Central Station. And then I ran the subways, I walked it. So I know the whole city backwards and forwards. I've worked there, seen it when it was a lot nicer than it is now and had better leadership than it does now. My comments on New York is that the city is crumbling under the current leadership. Mayor de Blasio and his gang are running it to the ground. The police are not happy with them. And I just don't like the way people are leaving New York City in droves. And not a good, it's a great city. I loved it.
Yeah,
I mean,
we loved it.
greatest city on earth, but what they're turning it into is I'm definitely not. I'm glad I'm not there anymore. But it was and is still a beautiful city. But when the socialists take over, a lot of things tend to go down the tubes, and we see that in San Francisco, out in other parts of California. The homeless, the drug users. It's just a shame that leadership can let that happen. With all the money that they have, they can't build and house people that need it. It's very, very sad to see that. I think the virus is already here. Dig in. It's a possibility. I was sick earlier, almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks really
I was
bad.
sick for
But-
quite a while.
And I coughed for a while after that. I mean, I thought I didn't know what was going to happen. I was at the doctor 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you went on an antibiotic.
I ended up going on an antibiotic.
2 rounds.
It was bad.
That's when you thought that you were sicker than me. You made me compare how strong my antibiotics were. I was much sicker than Anthony, and that is a fact.
I don't think so.
No, it was a fact that I was on a very long time of 500 milligrams 2 or 3 times a day.
You were on
It was
Augmentin, I
okay,
think.
or no, I don't know.
She got these big
Huge.
horse pills.
It
I got
was
these
huge.
little pills.
The milligrams were huge. Anthony was on 240 a day. He kept insisting he was
I still think I was
so
sicker.
much sicker than me. Oh my God.
Well, we were both sick equally.
Mine ended up in sinus, yours ended up in the chest.
Yeah, mine ended up in my chest, and I still don't feel right to this day.
Yeah,
So
we were held up
it's not good. Whatever was going around
Yeah.
Catawba County. All right. Good to hear from you, HCP. Yep. Your wife's from Queens. All right. My family, my parents and everybody grew up. Therefore, my whole family in New York is from the Bronx area, and then they migrated out from there to the suburbs over the years, but still have family in the Bronx as well. Lexington, okay, McAllister. Good to see some North Carolina.
Yeah.
Any South Carolinians out there? We're just over the border
Yeah.
in South Carolina, but we say Charlotte.
Mhm.
It's just easier. We're like
Close
a
to
stone's throw to Charlotte.
Yes.
But it's a great area to live in. We're just getting used to the weather. 3 years now. We do miss the Florida weather. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, we miss it a lot.
Do a live prayer meeting sometime. We could all pray for each other.
Yeah.
We all need to be strengthened by the Holy Spirit. Thank you for bringing that up, Mike. Mike Dirty Van Life. That's I was a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking about that several years ago. I put together a ministry that I have on the shelf, and maybe it's a good time during one of these prayer sessions that I break it out, and we can get people to commit to something where we meet up online like this once a week or once every other week, and just build each other up. Iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27 says that. And so, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. We need it for each other, and our country needs it, and the world needs it, definitely. Because seeing what's being portrayed on TV and some of the things people are worshiping today are just off the charts, and I think that's one of the reasons why our country is in such trouble and such turmoil. Prep people get locks for your doors when the SHTF people change greatly. I agree with that. Somebody that you may know, from the neighborhood today that you wave to or say hello to can be your worst enemy in SHTF. So if you don't know people really, really good, I wouldn't trust them in SHTF situation. You have to be very mindful of that. Naples, Florida, Big Wolf 45. How are you, brother?
Naples, Florida. Beautiful.
Naples, beautiful area. We've been there.
Big Wolf 45 diligence.
We lived in Weston, Florida, which is right across the alley. We drove. Naples was only an hour and a half across Alligator Alley. We spent a lot of times in downtown Naples and in what's the hotel we stayed at all the time with the kids? The Ritz-Carlton, Naples, the one, not the one in the city in downtown Naples, the other one. There's two of them. But we would go to the Ritz-Carlton in Naples with the kids for like 3 or 4 days, and we felt like we were in another world. I mean, it was an amazing place. We just ate in the food, the way they took care of us, the rooms, the service, the pool, the gym, just amazing stuff. And it was a great time. Really, really missed that. Yep.
I spent the 4th of July in Charlotte, Mr. Wilson, at a family reunion. My mother was born in South Carolina in the 40s. Carolinas were my second home.
Oh, wow.
My mom is second home.
Next time you come to Charlotte, let me know. We can meet up for coffee or something, definitely.
Mm-hmm. We have people from all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York City's not the same. I know, Frank. It's a shame. It's definitely a shame.
Yeah, people here from California. There's a lot of different Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other thing we want to mention tonight? Well, we were talking about the shows, right?
Yeah, some of the great miniseries that we had watched. And one was called Grimm. If anybody's watched Grimm, it's a 6 seasons, 123 episodes. It was based on Brother Grimm fairy tales.
But like a police.
Oh, it was good.
It was a police show.
It was
drama, suspense, and ghouls and goblins, and the head character, what was his name? Nick Burkhart had this ability.
He was a descendant.
Right. He was a descendant of the Grimms.
Yes.
And so he could spot a Vesson or like a bad being in a person, and he could see it.
He could see it. No one else could.
And it was really, really good. The show was very well done.
Better.
Yeah, that was a great.
That we highly recommend.
So if you haven't seen Grimm, it's one of the Amazon. I believe it was Amazon.
I think it was Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime show, great series.
We like cried, but it ended.
Yeah, we were doing like a date night, like once a week, and watching an episode or so, and then it became. We got so hooked on it, we were like date nighting every night and watching like 2 or 3 episodes.
One more?
Yeah.
One more?
Yeah. Another good. Just trying to look at some of the comments here. Grimm was filmed in Portland. Yeah,
right.
It's all filmed up in Portland.
It was always raining there, but we always said it's nice there.
Yep, HCP, cool show. My wife and I loved it. Another show that another show that we watched together was the one with the girl, Hannah. It's only 1 season. We're waiting for the 2nd season. Hannah's 1 season, but it is a pretty cool show. If you could catch that on Amazon, it's worth it. That's a really good show. I think it's 10 episodes or 12 episodes. Yeah, it's a great show. Yeah.
Another one was We Love Is Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan show. We watched season 1, and then this year they came out with season 2. and it was only what, 8 episodes,
Yeah,
season 2. It was pretty short, but it was good.
Very short.
I thought it would get. I thought it was going to be a longer season, but I think it was 8 episodes. But that's the guy from The Office that played Jim in The Office. He stars in that. Some good actors in there. That's a pretty good show. Another one I watched on my own recently. I just finished it yesterday, and it was how many seasons was it? 4. The Man in the High Castle.
Oh, that one I didn't
The
watch.
Man in the High Castle is outstanding. If you have a chance to watch it, it's 4 seasons. I think it's 10 episodes per season. It's on Amazon. It is fantastic. The actors are great. The storyline is great. The producer that produced Aliens is one of the producers of the show. It is very, very well done. And the premise of it is, if it shows the United States as if Germany and Japan won World War II. So they control the United States. The Reich and the Japanese, they kind of split. 2/3 of it belonged to the Reich. A third belongs to the Japanese.
Jill sure has. I can't wait for Yellowstone. It's set to start soon. I'm making another one.
Yellowstone is that in more than one season already, right? I think I started watching that, if that's the right one.
Wait, and Mr. Glass made watch Shuttle season 1, 2, and 3. It's probably Jeff Ryan.
Jack Ryan,
Is that
Mr. Glass.
that you're talking about? Yeah, those are some of the great recommendations that we have,
Yeah.
for sure. And then there was another one in my sewing class that
Was recommended, right? Americans.
The American or
The Americans. It's
something.
one with the Russian
sure.
spies living in America. That's several seasons. I was looking at that
You were
yesterday.
supposed to start on that one next. Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch that one when you're getting your treatment, if we can get access to it.
That would be a good thing to do.
Keep our minds occupied.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Kevin Costner, yeah. I started watching Yellowstone first season. I haven't picked up on it, but I'll definitely check it out. It looks really good. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes so far.
Yeah.
But The Man in the High Castle is very, very well done. From the way they portray, the way it's filmed, and they portray what the country would look like. It takes place in the early 60s, so it's after World War II. So we're already conquered by the Germans and the Japanese, and it's pretty good show. Gets into a lot of twists and turns and things of that nature. Really good. Of course. Nobody could do too many right-wing things. You have to stay left like the rest of Hollywood. Yeah, maybe that's why they cut the season short.
They did.
Yeah. Well, they cut.
They did,
If you watch Grimm,
yeah,
getting around season 5, they introduced a group that was pretty close to what we're seeing as Antifa, and they must have received flack from being too truthful or showing too realistic of scenarios, if you will. And I think they were spoken to by somebody higher up, because the show line changed, like from that to like something completely different in one episode. It was like, whoa, what happened with what were they called? That group that was doing all the writing, and I forget what it was called, but it was very realistic. So yeah,
they were taking over everything.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they were spoken to. I watched Law and Order. That show's been on for a long time.
You know what we love is Perry Mason. My brother.
Oh, Perry Mason. We're giving away our age now. But yeah, Perry Mason. We were watching it, and then they started charging us for it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
We watched almost all of season 1, and then they started charging us for it.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I got to look into. They want us to join that Prime monthly thing. Yeah, but something else. Like they want like $5 or $6 more a month or something. And I'm not a big, I don't watch a lot of TV, but shows like that we'll watch like on a weekend or
We don't even have a
once
lot of
during the week.
channels.
No.
We just watch Prime.
Yeah.
It's a good show, or miniseries.
I like the Lost episodes. Season 2 came out. I watched that, where they put like 10 people on different parts of an island up in Canada, and they have to survive. The longest one that makes it gets $500,000. That was pretty good. I watched season 2 of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antifa Radio 9300. Antifa does run wild in Portland, Oregon, and some other areas, but it seems like Portland is where they're like allowed and permitted to operate, where the mayor and the police are kind of hand in hand and letting them do whatever they want. And that's one of the things that I don't know how police put up with that crap, where they're not allowed to enforce the laws and protect and serve. Maybe if you're law enforcement, you could weigh in on that. And it gets back to this. When the leaders tell you to do something against what you're supposed to do, you have the obligation to not do it. I know it's hard. I know you're just taking orders from your superior mayor of the city. But if it goes against the protection of the people, and these groups are hurting the people like Antifa has been known to do. I just did a video on an Antifa thug threatening a Republican that's running against Nancy Pelosi. I just did a video on it a few days ago. I don't know if the guy was an actor, if he was really Antifa, but they're getting away with murder, if you will. And the police sit idly by while it happens, and that's not right. And so whether you're told to stand down, if you're seeing the law being broken, I think the police need to turn around and tar and feather and arrest the mayor of Portland and put him behind bars when he gives orders like that. That's my belief. That's what I would do. San Diego, wow. Is it gangs like different types of gangs, just specific named gangs, or just like groups of guys going out and causing trouble? That's terrible. And she probably remembers when the neighborhood was good and you could go out for walks, and I tell you, man, it's sickening. Oh, Berkeley, forget about it. The college students in Ohio, that made me so sick. College students in Ohio. Can't remember what happened there. Most of my family's still so liberal and entitled, they don't understand. Yeah. They're reaping what they sown, and they're seeing many people leaving California like they're leaving New York and headed to other parts of the country that are more that are less totalitarian and so liberal. So it's a shame to see that. You're seeing almost the country being fractured. I don't know if it's planned that way, if it's being balkanized or planned that way, where we're just going to start breaking up into different sections. I don't know, but it's certainly a possibility the way things are going. My parents watch Perry Mason all the time. Yep. Good show. Very good show. I never watched it growing up, but we started watching it recently. It's good. And everybody smokes. They're smoking in the office, and everybody's lights up a cigarette. They do that in The Man in the High Castle. Everyone smokes cigarettes. It's just so cool. You see these SS guys in their office, and they're all smoking cigarettes.
I don't smoke. If I ever smoked, you just wouldn't date me no matter what.
No, you never smoked.
Never.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have dated you if you smoked. No. I'll have an occasional cigar, but no, I don't smoke cigarettes. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. So okay, that's a good example. So campus police, I'll put quotation marks there. How could you walk away from somebody being assaulted and not knowing what the reason is, whatever the reason is? How could you walk away from somebody being assaulted? You are supposed to carry out duties that a policeman is supposed to carry out, protect and serve. What is causing that? Well, the president of the university needs to be questioned. The faculty needs to be questioned. The provost needs to be questioned. Who's the head of public safety on campus needs to be questioned. This is ridiculous. You know, you see these universities being infiltrated by these or given money by certain groups or countries that want to see things go their way. And money, if you just follow the money, you'll see where all the problems are coming from. Because you got thousands of universities vying for a certain amount of kids, and a certain amount of kids trying to get into a certain amount of universities to be brainwashed and then to get out and to have their morals and values that they went in with stripped away and then re-educated and put out there into the world. And now they vote for Bernie Sanders. And this is what you get. This is what you get. You get what you put in. Garbage in, garbage out. It's an old computer term. Red Dawn movie's excellent. We have that. I have the special edition version of Red Dawn. Yeah. 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 I have that. You don't watch Red Dawn.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Glass Communist, exactly.
You have another special guest. You're going to invite your brother Rocco.
Yep. My brother Rocco was some of you know him. He was a police officer, detective, New York City, undercover drug narcotics, chased down pedophiles at the end of his career when he retired several years ago. And he's got tons and tons of stories. He did 21 or 22 years in NYPD. I was just having a talk with him the other day on, texting back and forth about what the situation that the thug went into one of the precincts. I think it was the 4-0, and started shooting up the place. And I said, how could a guy go and shoot up officers in their own precinct and nobody kill him? He should have been riddled with bullets, but yet the guy survived, or they arrested him. He should have been killed. It's amazing how controlled the police are. There's probably people outside the door. Turn the camera on and see. I'm going to look at the camera and see who's outside. Because there's definitely somebody outside, or Charlotte would not be. There's either people outside or there's animals walking back and forth. I don't see anything. Yeah, might have been somebody walking their dog. Oh, somebody's working next door. Yeah, and they have a dog, so the dog might be out in the garage.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Yeah, he ran out of ammo and gave up. I would have shot his ass anyway. Yeah. Yep. I agree. I mean, criminals only understand one thing, and that's force. You got to fight back. You got to fight back hard, and you got to make a point. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get on a regular schedule of maybe one day during the week and maybe on the weekend. I'm not sure yet. I want to get some formats going, but I like doing these live videos and being able to and interacting with them more like live is really cool. Jeremiah Johnson, one of my favorites. I've got it in the garage on DVD. I watch it on my little portable DVD player. That is a great.
That's crazy that he said that. Yeah. That's your favorite.
Yeah, Jeremiah Johnson. Another favorite of ours that we watched together is Jericho.
Loved it.
If you haven't seen Jericho, another movie that went one great season. The second season was going great, and they cut it short. That's another one cut off for a reason. I know it was cut off. It had to be the way it was written. and it just ended in season 2. I mean, that movie was, if you can get Jericho, I have the DVD. I bought it on Amazon because you're probably not going to find it to watch online. But it would be a great investment to buy the DVD and watch it. Very well done.
Robert, he's right. Cameras and dogs. That's
Yeah.
security.
Yeah.
I agree.
Breaking Bad, I've watched a few of them, not all of them. It's a pretty violent show. It's a very well done show. What I'm waiting for, my big show has been Walking Dead,
Right.
and that starts up tomorrow. Second half of this season starts up tomorrow.
The only person in the world that doesn't watch Walking Dead.
She's never seen an episode.
No. I don't do that or Facebook. I think the only person in the world that doesn't have a Facebook will watch The Walking Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Walking Dead starts tomorrow, guys. That's yeah, tomorrow night. But I'm about 4 or 5 episodes behind. The Whisperers are definitely a violent bunch. It's very well done how they brought them into play with Alpha, that female bad guy. I mean, she's worse than Negan. Yeah. I mean, what do you think of Alpha? She's off the charts. And her cohort Beta, I think his name is. The guy's like 6'7" or something like that.
Well, you'll be doing a lot of lives soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live Walking Dead episode one.
Yeah.
So Sanders won the Nevada caucuses at 46.6%. This is what we're coming to, guys. I mean, a guy that honeymooned in Moscow. Talk about somebody that Putin would want to win the election. Why would Putin want Trump to win the election? He would want somebody, a comrade like Bernie Sanders, to win the election. Charlotte has more tones to her voice. Yeah, yeah. Teddy's much more easygoing. Exactly.
Oh my word.
Yep.
Yes, that's so funny. She just is going, or he or she is going by the word. That's crazy.
Where is Teddy? Yeah. Teddy, come here, buddy. You here in the front? He was on before. He was so calm.
A lot more.
Yeah, I saw that too, Mr. Glass. A lot of shows do that. I don't know why they do that today, but I guess they have to keep people. Yeah, Commie Sanders. So, guys, I'm going to end this tonight. We've been on an hour now. I just wanted to thank everybody for joining me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button. Yeah, I want to do more interaction with these live videos. I like the format and looking forward to doing more. And my better half was just here to help tonight. So hopefully she'll come back. Will you come back and make more appearances? Well, we're going to do some live videos from the hospital. Well, not from the hospital, but from the treatment center or back at the hotel, just to go over some of her treatment that she'll be getting in the next couple of weeks, starting in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So keep Barbie in your prayers. Wednesday's our appointment, the MRI, the simulation with the face mask to get everything set up for her radiation treatments. So that's next week, and then we'll be coming home for probably a week or so, and then going back there for 6 weeks for treatment. So and I'll be away from here, but I'll have the ability to go live. So thank you, guys. Take care. God bless. Stay ready, and keep your eyes on current events. Not always from TV, but get them from other sources. And stay away. Keep your head on a swivel. Anthony signing off. God bless. Love you guys. Take care.
Let them keep